Difficulties. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to part two of how to set your kids up. Basically, how to set your kids up for life. So this is going to be broken up in a couple different portions. I don't know what was going on last week. I tried to I sent it out to everybody, but people said that they didn't get it. So I just decided to go over it again and add a few different things to it. So this will be for those of you that have children. I know I have a son, and you want to start them on what we learned late early, because as you know, Warren Buffett made his first investment at 11 years old. He made his first investment at 11 years old. That is why he's like the fifth or sixth richest man in the world today. And really, when investing, the sooner you get started, the better off you'll be in life. I wish somebody would have got me started back, like way back in the days, because if this is no lie, if you can put 10,000 in your son or daughter's account, and by the time they reach 40, 50, they'll have over $1 million. And this is without you adding anything else to it. We're going to go over like all of that later, but I just kind of want y'all to understand the stage that's being set right now, because it's very important to me as a parent, and I feel like it's something that our community is lacking in. Like, it's been more awareness around it now, but we're still so far behind that it's still ridiculous, because the information is there, but then it's going to cause a lot of people to break their habits, their bad habits. And a lot of people don't want to let go of those bad habits. So I can lead everybody to the water, but I can't break your habits for you. That's something that you have to do. So without further ado, I created a Zoom. Let me share my screen really quick. Okay. Bam. Okay, let me see. Oh, where's this PowerPoint? Yeah, okay, there we go. So basically, this Zoom is about how you can set your kids up for life. Now, you don't have a lot of people under the notion that you got to have a lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money, you won't be able to do this. All of that is absolutely false, because you can set your kids up just by being disciplined and being consistent. That's it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna minimize this right here. Okay, about me. I'm Willie Viverette. I'm an investor that's passionate about furthering the next generation. As you know, lack of finances in our neighborhood is like detrimental. It's like, man, that's to me, the lack is two things that really hurt our community. One is the lack of family and family sticking together, like, keeping the family together as a unit. You got the mother over here, the father over there. That's one thing. And then the second thing is finances, the lack of money. Because the more money you have, the more opportunities, you got. We got a lack of finances in the community. That leads to lack of food, lack of housing, lack of proper schooling, etc. There are a number of things that we can do in order to fix the problem. This section, we're just gonna go over a few things that we can change in our community in order to secure our children's future. So a little bit of what we're gonna be going over. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I just kind of want to hit an overview of what we're going to be covering, because we're going to go deep into specific subjects, in the next couple of Zooms. So you definitely don't want to miss these. But, introduction, family, money, goals, environment, discipline. So let's talk about it. My name is Willie. some of y'all are new to the Wealth Factor. If you don't know, my name is Willie. I did a brief introduction. I'll just be going over the things that we can do in our community in order to further our community. So, give you some facts about me. One, I have a son. His name is Junior. I love him to death. I have a lot of things set up to help him get started in life. Now, Junior has crypto, he has stocks. I'm teaching him about the stock market, trying to teach him about real estate. He knows how to play Monopoly, because with kids, you don't want to just like shove information down their throats. You want to make it fun. You want to make it exciting. It's almost like you got to trick kids into doing certain things, So I try to trick my son by making a lot of things exciting. I'm active. I'm always figuring out what I can do to not only to ensure his future, but the future of the next generation. So I'm constantly learning. Like right now, I'm going through the different types of trust that you can set up and how you can transfer your debt to a trust to get it off your name in order for you to get more assets. That's going to be coming soon to the Wealth Factor. Anything that I run across, like any stock market tips, any, as far as real estate, starting a business, anything that I can do to help the kids get set up, that's pretty much, my goal in life. And in my community, I've been on Fox 59. I've been, reposted on several other platforms. It's been on Instagram. A lot of my followers or a lot of my friends are on Facebook, so I've been getting reposted like all the time, so I'm very passionate about helping my community, because I feel like the lack of finances is like life or death. Being creative, you got to think outside the box. You got to get away from what people are calling the normal. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If you lived your life based off of what society wants you to do, go to school, get out of school, go into a bunch of debt, get a good job, buy a house, and hopefully you got enough money to retire before you die. Because if you retire, when you retire and you hit that retirement age, or you hit that retirement age and you start getting the money and you live past what they're projecting people to die at, you're gonna be in trouble. That's just the absolute truth. They've even pushed the retirement age back because people are living longer and they're running out of money. You don't believe me? Just Google it. So you got to get outside the normal. Investing into the stock market isn't normal. Investing in the real estate isn't normal. Starting a business isn't normal. Investing in the cryptocurrency isn't normal. Going to work, getting off of work, having enough money to pay your bills, get off, watch some trash TV. That's the normal. You will not get ahead like that. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, just being completely honest. So this is my son right here. I know a lot of you have seen him on Facebook. I love him dearly. That's like my guy right there, man. He means a lot to me. And when I see him, some of the things I think about is when I'm gone, what situation will I leave him in? Will he be equipped to really operate in this world? Will he have the tools that he needs? What type of person will he be? Will he know about the stock market? Will he know about real estate? Will he actually pull the trigger on some of these things? So that's why with my son, we go over the stock market all the time. He can show you what a good chart looks like and a bad chart looks like. We constantly go over those things because I know none of us is going to live forever. And when I check out, he's not, more than likely he's still going to be here. When I check out, he's still going to be here. So it's important for me to equip him with the tools he needs to operate and really get ahead in life. And not only to operate and get ahead in life, but to also pass it along to his children, and his children's pass along to their children. So now we can create a new normal in our family tree. It's very important. And I would encourage all of you to do the same thing, because nobody's going to give us nothing. It's not going to get easier. It's just going to be rougher. Inflation is 10%. It's just going to be rough. So my goals are to help the youth get to the next level. Too many times they're overlooked. You got a lot of kids that lash out simply because these adults are trying to teach them the normal way of doing things, and they know that it's BS. These kids know that it's BS. You telling them to go to school, get a good job, go into debt, when a friend of theirs, just got he built up his following on Instagram to 100,000 people, and he's a fitness trainer, and he sells a monthly subscription for $10. So now, he got 10% of his audience. He got 10% of his audience at $10. So let's 10,000 people paying $10 a month. That's 100,000 a month. And so basically he's making 1.2 million a year. And here you are telling these kids to go out, get a good job, work forever. They like, nah, it got to be a better way. It got to be a different way. So that's why we run into a lot of problems with the youth. I got to teach the youth how to invest. This will be done by helping the parents learn how to invest. The parents are the first teachers. The teachers are the second teachers. When you send your kids to school, of course they get a traditional education, but what happens at home and what you teach them at home, those are going to be the morals and boundaries that they set for themselves in life. If you are constantly talking about finances in your household and helping them to understand the importance of the stock market, the importance of real estate, and what direction they should be going in life, even if they want to get a job, that's totally okay. Get a job so you can leverage your job to invest into the stock market, or leverage your job to invest in the real estate. But don't get a job, stay there for 100 years and hope to retire and have enough money to retire, and then you die. Like, it's way more to life than that. And we got to start sharing it, with our kids. I'm going to be explaining how we can get our kids to an 800 credit score by the time they leave high school. That's going to be super important. Also, I'll be explaining the importance of life insurance. This is just kind of like for the rest of these weeks to come. I just want to go over each one briefly, just to get you to understand the significance of it. It's vital for a child to have the support of the family. This will help them get through obstacles that they are bound to run in when they're going through the motions of striving for success. Now, I remember when I was creating, what was I creating? I had this idea when I was younger, but then it's like all of my friends and even my family members, they were just so negative that I was like, man, this ain't gonna work because don't nobody believe in it. And who knows how far I will be now had I would have did that goal or that dream or that idea. I'd probably be further along in life than what I am now. So it's very important that when our kids have dreams, especially when it's geared towards any type of investment, stocks, real estate, entrepreneurship, starting a business, crypto, I don't care what it is. We have to make sure that we nurture that, because if we don't nurture that, those kids are going to lose interest, because to be honest, our children value the opinions and advice of the mother and of the father. Is very important. If the mother don't seem like it's a good idea, 9 times out of 10, he or she not going to do it, and who knows where they're going to end up in life, which is we never know, to be honest. Environment. So wherever you choose to stay will determine the type of education your child will get. It is a very unfortunate thing that things are like this, but this is the world that we live in. If you stay in a good area, you're more than likely the schools will be better, with a few exceptions across the globe. This will put limitations on access of wealth to the children. Will need, basically it'll put limitations on the access that the children will have, when growing up. Keep these things in mind when you're putting your plan together. Now, If you don't already have a plan, you should definitely be creating a plan. You should do that tonight. What does the next 5 years of your life look like? Do that tonight. It's Sunday. Everybody's off work. You probably won't go do nothing but watch some type of series on Netflix, or just channel scroll on social media. Write down what you want the next 5 years of your life to look like, so that way we can have a roadmap to how we're going to get to where we're going to get to. You can't just say, oh, I want to be here in life, and then just think that you're just going to magically appear there. It doesn't work like that. So let's get a financial roadmap. I want to be very specific, because when you say education, it's so many things fall in the realm of education. We get to talking about spiders and bugs and, the periodic table and which elements you need. I'm going to be honest with you. That stuff really ain't that important. I haven't used none of the stuff that I learned in science. Not one single thing. I haven't dissected a frog. I haven't, been messing with chemicals, and I haven't been putting chemicals together and creating these and see what these will do if I mix both of these. I haven't done any of that, to be honest. I feel like they should take out chemistry as a whole and put in finances, teaching kids how to invest into real estate, the stock market, at least balance a checkbook, credit, how to build credit, and all of those things, but that's not the school system. The school system is not built for the kids to get out and really succeed. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. It's not built for that. It's built for them to be an employee. Don't question what's going on in the world. Don't question the normal. Just get a job, do the job that they hired you to do, and retire and die. That's pretty much what the school system does to children. My activities, learning every day, private tutoring, sports, all of these things will help the kids to learn and, to help them to be active. Okay, money. Let's talk finances, make it a habit, get everyone involved, no excuses, budgeting, discipline. This is probably the hardest thing for people to do, because people just don't have any discipline. Everybody knows, for the most part, what they should be doing. Everybody knows that they should be saving money. They should be investing. They shouldn't be living off 100% of their income. They should be doing right by people. It's just a whole list of things that they know that they should be doing, but people don't do it. The journey to build wealth and bring your children along ain't gonna be easy. It's going to be a lot of things in your way that'll cause you want to give up, or even get distracted. No matter what, make sure you keep going. So this is why it's important for you to have a plan and sticking to that plan. I don't care what happens in your life. Your life can be up, down. It can be sideways. It can be catastrophic. You can be on cloud nine. No matter what, make sure you stick to the plan. Discipline. If you can tackle discipline, you can be successful pretty much at anything. So thank you. That's just a short that's just short of what we're coming into. That's just like a preview. I just kind of want to prep y'all on what we're going to get into. We're going to get into the specifics. I'm going to have a chart pulled up showing that once you invest this amount, and this is a one-time investment, you don't have to touch it no more. And we're going to check it like some years later. I'm going to show you the compound interest and all of those things. We're going to cover credit. We're going to cover what you can do to help your son or your daughter to start to build credit at like 13, depending on what state you're in. So by the time they're 18, they're going to have a good credit score. But you just can't throw them out in the field with a good credit score. They need to start learning about credit at 13 too. Kids are not too young to learn about money. They're not too young. Because if the police can shoot kids down in cold blood, the police don't ask how old were they. They shoot first. So this is why we need to equip them with the knowledge to help them stay out of just certain situations like that. Kids are smarter than what we think they are. It's very important, that you start teaching your kids finances, whatever you know. You ain't got to know it all. I don't care if you know, you don't have to know it all. Take where you at and what you got and start the ball to moving. And as you go along, you add to it. You continue to add to it. I started teaching my son about the stock market at 3 years old. At 3 years old. I'm still teaching him. As I'm learning and gaining more knowledge, I'm still teaching him, and now he knows what a good stock looks like. He knows what a good chart looks like. He knows all of these things, and that comes from me teaching him, starting him off at a young age, which I started off with me and my son playing Monopoly. Some of y'all probably seen it in my stories when he blew the dice and then tore them around and rolled them. He likes rolling the dice. He likes putting the houses on the property. And he didn't get the whole concept of it at that time, but he became familiar with it. So once we played it again, he's like, oh, okay, I know what this is. And taking the money out of the game and handing it to him and having him count the money out. This is stuff that I was doing at 3. I was starting this at 3, so now he's a super awesome kid, super, super awesome kid. I love him to death. Very smart. And I'm going to continue to teach him about finances. And it's very important that all parents do that. Finances should be discussed in your household once a week. Set a day aside. If you got teenagers, you tell them it's mandatory. This is a mandatory family meeting about finances. I don't care if they don't got no finances. I don't care if your finances are messed up. This is where we just talk about our goals, where we want to be, what does the next year look like, and how can we collectively further the family. Those conversations need to be had every week. No exceptions. It ain't no, well, I want to hang out with my friends today and I can't do it. It's like, yeah, we just do it another time. It can't be none of that. When you said something, it got to be mandatory. You hang out with your friends tomorrow. Or you can hang out with your friends, after the family meeting or before the family meeting. I don't know, however you want to do it, but you got to make it mandatory in your household. That's where it starts at. So we're going to get more into like investing and how you can set your kids up. We're going to cover like how you can build your kids' credit, and basically how when you hire your kids, I'm gonna cover a little bit on taxes. I'm not a CPA at all. This is just something that I've read, and I asked my CPA about it, and she confirmed it. So I'm going to share that with you also, and how your kids can actually save you money. So we're going to get into like all of that and a lot more with the rest of the Zooms for this week. This is going to be, to me, I feel like this is the most important section of the wealth factor, because nobody that's watching this is going to be here forever. You're going to have kids, and they're going to have kids, and they're going to have kids, and they're going to have kids. And in the Rich Dad book, I don't know if y'all read it or not. If you haven't read it, highly recommend you to read it. In the Rich Dad book, it said, if you grow up in a rich family, you don't have to try to be rich, because it's already programmed in your subconscious, not your conscious. See, right now you're thinking. You're thinking right now. I'm talking about when you lay down and go to sleep, your conscious is turned off. Your subconscious is working. I'm talking about when financial success is implemented in your subconscious. That's really where the money's made, because you're going to make the money on accident. It's going to be on accident. It's not going to be your conscious that steer the ship. It's going to be your subconscious. And although I feel like some adults are like gone because they haven't even started the ball to moving, they feel like they don't have to invest for one reason or another. They just feel like it's nothing, like it's kind of like secondary. And it's true, because if you think about it, just look at all the people that are in the impoverished neighborhoods. For the most part, it's a few that kind of like came out, but look at all the people that are in the impoverished neighborhoods. You got 3 generations there. The grandmother grew up in that neighborhood, raised a daughter in that neighborhood. She grew up, had kids, raised them in that neighborhood. The daughter moved around the corner. So like, that's the bar. That's the bar. Nobody's had a question, talk about finances. Nobody's saying, hey, how can we get out of this neighborhood? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, where you choose to live is going to determine where your kids go to school. Where your kids go to school is going to determine what kind of job they get. The type of job they get is going to determine where they can afford to stay, and everything just goes in a big circle. It's a snowball. Nobody breaks the cycle. It's a few people that do, but for the most part, everybody stays where they're at. A person that's staying in Carmel. I remember I went and got a pedicure. It was a spot off of 82nd and Allisonville. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. It's like the nail spa or nail something. I was up there and I was talking to the Chinese lady. She's a cool, cool female. And because I was dressed up, so she's in fashion and she asking like questions and stuff. So we talking and she was like, nah. I was like, yeah, it's down here that. She was like, nah, I don't go down there. And I was like, dang. She was like, nope, I stay right in Carmel. So she don't, like, the closest that she goes to the inner city is to work on 82nd and Allisonville and back home. She goes back to Fishers. So that's the bar. That's how she's raising her kids. That's the bar for her kids is Carmel. Now, whatever they have to do to stay in Carmel and maintain their quality of life, that's what they're going to do. But the same thing is true for the people that stay in the inner city and the impoverished areas. They don't know about a Carmel. They know about it, but they say, man, we ain't gonna never be able to stay out there. It costs too much, rent is too high. They got all the excuses, but the people that stay in Carmel, they saying, nah, we staying here. We like it here because we like our quality of living. So that's why it's very important for us to pass it along to the children. That's if we want our quality of living to change. And it's going to be a continuous cycle. The cycle is going to continue like this until, because after this, I'm gonna end it because I feel like I'm ranting now. I can really do this all night. I'm probably gonna go live when I get off here. But I'll tell you this. When we talk about building wealth, it is a price that has to be paid. Now, somebody's going to pay that price. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be your kids? Is it going to be their kids? Is it going to be their kids? Is it going to be their kids? Because somebody has to pay the price in order to secure the generations to come. Somebody has to pay the price. Somebody has to pay the price. And a lot of people, to be honest with you, they don't want to pay the price right now. They saying, oh, well, it's going to happen. And, when I get this large sum of money, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Or, I'm really not looking at it like that, or it's not important. And I can't tell people what's important to them. Like, what's important to you is what's important to you. But I can tell you this. If you don't want to pay the price, you leave it up to your children to pay the price. And if the children didn't see the mother and or the father paying the price in order to move the next generation ahead, which the parents are the first teachers, why would your children teach their children any different? So everything goes in a big circle. Nobody ever gets out of the situation. Everybody's always saying, well, things are going to change. Well, I want to raise my kids better. I'm going to let them understand this. I'm going to teach them this. And they don't, because kids learn by seeing what the parents do. That's why if you cuss in front of a kid, the first word would be a cuss word from the kid. Like, dang, where did he learn that? Kids pick up on what we do, not so much as what we say. You can tell a kid something, but they're gonna be like, you ain't even do it. If it's so right, why you not do it? And we can't argue with them because they're right. So this is where the change starts, right here in the Wealth Factor. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. for everybody that's rocking with me, we got a lot of great things coming up. It's a lot of man, I got a lot of great things lining up. I'm actually, it's not confirmed yet, but I might be on a TED Talk. I don't know if you are familiar with the platform, but TED Talk is where a lot of people go on that platform and basically share their experiences and stuff like that. It's kind of equivalent to like $1 million worth of game, Joe Budden podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, but it's more of like I would say more educational. You know what I mean? More of an educational. So I got a buddy that's going on there. He want me to open up for him. So I'm gonna see how that's going to go. I'm super excited about that. So that's it. Y'all got any questions? Y'all got any questions? Thank you, Kadijah. So that's it. The grind doesn't stop. Create you a plan. If you ain't got a plan, create it tonight. What does the next one do? A 1 year and do a 5 year. What does the next 1 year of your life look like financially? What does the next 5 years of your life look like financially? And that way we can start to create a plan if you already don't have one. And even if you don't have one on these Zooms, like you can ask questions like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I got a plan to do this. Do you know anybody that does this? Or can you tell me how do I get from here to here? Y'all free to ask questions. That's what this is for. This is for that. But don't not have a plan and just think that you're going, well, I'll just figure it out. Things will fall in place. And, it don't work like that, man. It doesn't work like that. Things just don't fall into place. You got to push them into place. That's how it works. So, y'all got any questions? Saniqua, you good? Okay, Kadijah, you good? She probably stepped away from the phone. Well, I know a lot of you watching the playback. Okay, Kadijah, I got you. A lot of you watching the playback. Keep everything that I said in mind. Make sure you're watching all of the playbacks because this is not a game. This is real life right here. This is real life. This isn't like some fantasy world where somebody's just going to give us something or show up with a bag of money to make all our dreams come true. We have to create a plan and a strategy to get there. It's mandatory. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all next week.